This is Monday, March 2nd, 2026. Good evening, everyone. I know that maybe you must have seen this video trending on the Nigerian internet space as the people of Mansur, okay, Mansur, Mansur. So their community are fleeing. This exodus did not start today. Remember that 2 days ago, I made a video reporting that the governor of Bauchi State, Bala Mohammed, despite promising that he is going to import Fulani from all over the world, he is now afraid, running to Aso Rock, sending Tinubu to come to his aid that over 10,000 terrorist jihadists has stormed his state and they are trying to implement Sharia by committing ethnic cleansing. And at the end, he came back. Maybe they are telling him, join APC, let's help you. He said he's considering joining APC. You see, I want to tell you something. People who are in the north, especially Christians, anytime we talk about the division of Nigeria, people say that, especially most American senators and House of Rep members, Congress people, they said the northern Christians will suffer if they divide Nigeria, okay? I understand what they are saying very well, but you see what is going on now? It is called annexation. What is happening in Sokoto? People are not talking. They are winning the annexing Nigeria. In Bauchi State, in a broad daylight, almost 2 communities will fall under Sharia, under these jihadists. This is complete annexation of Nigeria. It is going, and Bauchi State is not a landlocked state. For you to understand that from Niger down, forget what you are hearing, what you are seeing. Everything is going on simultaneously. Now, this is where my fear now creeping. I was listening to Operation Safe Corridor, their spokesperson. You almost have seen the video. Operation Safe Corridor is the army branch who is responsible for all this area. He's responsible for, fighting insecurity in that area. He is now talking about these terrorists that are shooting all these things. These terrorists that are chasing these people are next in Nigeria. They have changed Nigerian constitution. They have suspended Nigerian constitution in these areas. You understand? So this man is now trying to tell the whole world that they are going to, people they captured, people who came winning it, that they are then going to put them back into the society. Like they want to reintegrate them into the society. You understand? They want to reintegrate them into the society. So, despite they suspend Nigerian constitution, they kill soldiers, they behead policemen, they wear their clothes, they kill residents, they chase out people, they take over the country, they turn into a Sharia state. Nigerian army is still bringing them into the society, into the army. This is not a news, like, this is not a surprise. It is an agenda. I want you people to understand the agenda and the interest of these people. It's all about Islamization of Nigeria. Islamization of Nigeria. See, all I want is let people speak in one voice. Most Nigerians who are in the south, middle belts, so many people are in the north, if they can speak in one voice to the solution to this menace, which is the division of the country, everything will be okay. Now, what is going on is all about fighting Western civilization. These people said Western education is haram. It is prohibited. You see the fight going on in the Middle East. A lot of people doesn't, unless you are sympathizers of these people, unless you believe that Western education is prohibited, you believe that women are slaves, you believe that Sharia law is the ultimate law, that is the only way you will not understand what is going on or feel that you are part of them. But if you understand actually what is going on, you will see that the fight that the US is fighting in the Middle East is the same fight that is going on in Nigeria. It is a global war. I used to say this. It is a fight against Western civilization. Boko Haram don't want Nigerian constitution. These people don't want Nigerian constitution. They want a Sharia law complete. Sani Yerima told you people that the ambition of every Muslim in Nigeria is to turn Nigeria into a Sharia state. People were laughing at him. A senator and the governor was saying that our ambition is to make Nigeria a Sharia state. You are laughing. You are just laughing. Iran will come out. Iran will say our ambition is to make the world a Sharia state. You are laughing. Taliban will come. Our ambition is to make Nigeria, make the world a Sharia state. You are laughing. Muslim Brotherhood will be going from one country to the other country. Our ambition is to make the whole world, America, UK, a Sharia nation. You are laughing. This is the same war everywhere. I told you people that Hezbollah is in Nigeria. Day before yesterday, right? That was yesterday. I don't know when they came, but I have a very direct source information that Hezbollah are in Nigeria. Hezbollah is swap Boko Haram, Lakurawa, Mahmuda, to mention but few. Why are they trooping into Nigeria as a safe haven for them? This is because people who are in government are paying billions upon billions to this terrorist group. Oh, how can a government pay billions of naira just, to terrorist group to kill their people? Does that make sense? No, it doesn't make sense in any place, but it makes sense in Nigeria. It makes sense in Nigeria. In Nigeria, where terrorists use helicopter to go from one place to another, kidnapping people. A country where terrorists will call soldiers, leave that place, you are coming to kidnap. The soldiers will leave. The terrorists will go there and kidnap. You people, if you understand what is going on in the world right now, see, I don't know the adjective I will use to qualify it, but if you know what is going on in the world, you choose path now. Choose your own path before it will be too late. Next world war, it will be a war of two civilizations, the Western cultures and Sharia culture. Mark it somewhere. The next world war will be brewed by this. Look at what they are doing in America. Closing road in America. Closing road in UK. Closing road in Germany. Everywhere. In trying to, inculcate the culture of Sharia. And they are not hiding it. I have the contacts of so many Islamic clerics. Okay? Anytime I speak with them, these people are very straight to the point. And that is why I love clarity. You see me, anything I stand for, I don't pretend about it. So if I have your contact, if I'm telling you now that I have contact of these people, it's because they don't pretend. They tell me directly, yes, that the real law that the whole world should be under is Sharia. That any other law of any country is useless. That any other law of any country is not recognizable in the Quran. That what they want is that the whole world should be under one authority. And that is designed like this. Boko Haram, Hamas, all of them use it. All of them uses it. You see, their motto is that victory belongs to God. Okay? So, what I'm trying to tell you is that you need to understand what is actually going on. You need to wake up and stop thinking. Now, just try to know where you are. The world is already at war. The world is already at war. US did not wake up and say that they have interest in Nigeria. A lot of people thought it was, it was this, but I'm telling you, this is the reason why. And a lot of people are saying, I thought US is in Nigeria. Forget about it. US is in Nigeria. US have not started doing anything. US don't have the time now. But time will come. They will have the time. Okay? From now to the next 5 months, issue of Iran will end, right? They will have the time. That time you will understand that all these terrorists, imagine, what happened in Nigeria a few days ago where these people, when they said they should remove Sharia, they should repeal Sharia law, repeal Sharia court, repeal Sharia police. We have Nigerian constitution, for God's sake. You know what happened? So many Islamic clerics from the north says that, no, divide the country now. Is that not what we want? We want a nation where everybody will be peaceful. Why would ISWAP commander be in Edo State for 4 years repairing phone, getting sensitive information? People need to wise up. See, welfare is in another level. You see this gun they are shooting is the minimum thing they are doing. No, they are in your churches. They are in your marketplaces. They are everywhere. I hope people will not regret why they do not hearken to the voices that is talking to them at this moment. People will regret it. These people, they mean what they are doing. This is simply terrorism, global terrorism. Global terrorism. Right from the day Islamic regime in Iran hijacked power from Persian, the Persian Empire of more than 2,000 years. These people hijacked the power. They changed their law to Sharia law. They enslaved their women. They do everything. Right from that day, they started chanting death to America. You people don't know why they are chanting death to America. The reason why they are chanting death to America, America is the leader of Western civilization. They are not chanting death to America from 40-something years for nothing. They are chanting death to Western civilization. It's the same thing Boko Haram is doing in Nigeria. Western education is prohibited. These people have infiltrated everywhere. That is why in Nigeria today, the whole system allows you to go through secondary school, you do jam before you go and do nursing, and so on and so forth. But now, with Islamic certificates, you can just go and do nothing. Go and fact check what I'm saying. Go to Google and fact check it. And you'll see the memo from the Ministry of Education, Nigeria. When are you people going to wake up? It's going to be too late. It's going to be too late. Anyway, it is what it is. The people of Mansur in Bauchi State, It's unfortunate that you've lost your homes, you've lost your ancestral places. But if we can join our voices together, when someone talk or few people talk, it doesn't have weight. When everybody talk, if we speak in unison, it will become the voice of nature. Nature will speak. It will happen. If I am angry and I want to confront the powers that be in Nigeria, anything that will happen to me, no problem, even though they want to kill me, let me go and do it. If I'm alone, they will roast me. You get it? They will roast me. If we are 100, they will tear gas. If we are 1,000, they will shoot. But if we are 1 million, they will run. But you can't get 1 million people who do not understand what is ahead of them. You can't get 1 million people who do not understand that their lives are in danger. They are still drinking Coca-Cola and rice. So how would they understand what is going on? They don't know that someone who even sold the Coca-Cola to them is someone who is planning to kill them. The trap is ahead of you. This is not a curse. This is not a bad wish. Many people in Nigeria are on a death row. Do you hear the gun being shot at people? Move away from this village, it's our own. Annexation of Nigeria is going on. The security operatives knows about what is going on. They take order to do what they are doing, and so on and so forth. So they are complicit to this. I am saying it. Okochapi myself is saying it. Nigerian armed forces are complicit to all this thing that is going on. And there is no two ways about it. There is no two ways about it. That is why we keep on doing what we are doing, to make sure that tomorrow people will not accuse little media platforms and also mainstream medias that we didn't hear it from anywhere. People did not tell us. We are telling you now. In one of my live sections about a month ago, a former Nigerian soldier who left the army because he was given order to go and kill Christians, he refused. Listen to his confession in case you missed this.
All right. Before Mrs. Patricia, I just want to ask you another question, sir. You told us before you served in the Nigerian military for 18 years. That means you have not completed your service here. If you don't mind, though, it's not compulsory. Can you share with us why you left?
You see, while I was 1990, 2001, I was deployed to Bakassi Peninsula. 2002, 2003, I think March of it, I was rotated, what we call rotation. I was rotated, and I was taken back to Kaduna. Something happened within the southern Kaduna. You know, when you reach 15 years in active service military, you are due for pension. You are due for pension. 15 years, you are due for pension. But anything below 15 years, they will pay you off. They will pay you off. Then you will not receive pension. But once you hit 15 years, according to the book, my own time, then you are due for pension. So I was overdue with 3 years. You understand? So that was all right. And what made me to leave, if I may say this here today, is the same thing. Look, the army is a voluntary job. There are some orders they will give to you as a reasonable person, someone who is not vacuous in the brain, someone who values morality, irrespective of the uniform and the organization that you are serving in. You will say, no, in line with my own morality, I cannot engage in this thing. That was the reason why I left. So for me to go on obeying such laws in Southern Kaduna made me to say, no, I cannot do this. Because the Southern Kaduna people, the Tayep people, the Birong people, there are so many of them. Mama Vasa area, Major General, Lieutenant General Mama Vasa area, Southern Kaduna, Kafanchang, all those areas. You see, when you fight, you allow the people, you see, my brother, I don't know how to put it, but let me try to put it. Just give me at least 2 minutes to say this. If you go, there is what they call Laduga in Southern Kaduna. Laduga, do you know the new version? The new version of Laduga is Ruga. Laduga. In Southern Kaduna, Kataf, they gave them over 70,000 hectares. 70,000 hectares. Hectares and acre, which one is bigger? I think hectares, right? Yeah, 70,000 hectares. Just for Laduga, they call it Laduga. That is what they gave them in Southern Kaduna. They took the land from the indigenous people, the Christian-dominated area in Southern Kaduna, and gave to these people. All of a sudden, as time goes on, as their population begin to multiply, to increase in that Ladoga, they are now encroaching into the indigenous people's land. As I'm talking to you now, I don't know. As at that time, it was about 120,000 surreptitiously claimed by these people in Southern Kaduna. By so doing, they are now entering into the farms of the other people. Then fight ensued. That is what caused that Southern Kaduna war from 2000 to 2004 when I left.
Wow.
So because they sent me there to go and fight, arrest the people that are defending themselves. I said, no, I will not do that. And when I made the arrest, when I went there, pathfinding, I arrested the troublemakers. They are all Fulani extractions. I arrested them and brought them to one mechanized infantry division. One Lieutenant Colonel Boro, I think he was the chairman of the NDDC, fair in complexion. He retired, I think, as the brigadier general, fair in complexion. He's an German. He was the one that called me and told me, see, you do not do this. And when you are doing this, be careful, because there are so many toes that you are going to step on. You know where we are coming from. We are from the East. Be careful how you do this. I say, if there is the case, I cannot exercise my authority and arrest people that committed crime, and you want me to arrest people that were defending themselves, I will not take part in this kind of job anymore. That was the reason why I left. I resigned voluntarily. Yeah.
Wow. You know, it is becoming clearer to me now. You know, most of the time you've told us this, that you left the Nigerian Army at 18. The year of service 8 years. So I have been wondering, so I decided to ask you this question. Thank you so much for clarifying us and everything. I still want to thank you for your moral standing. It's not easy. It's not everybody that will, a lot of people will be asking, what am I going to continue to eat if I leave, and so on and so forth. Anyway, it is well. You know, when we are talking about the issue of dimension of this, you told us the other day that Nigeria was not like this during your time. So I understand that perfectly well, that Nigeria was not like this during your time. Now, what did you envisage? What do you think that is going to happen next year, as these people are prepared to lay down war just because of religion or because of what they want? I mean, the extremists like Boko Haram, ISWAP, and the rest of them.
You see, if not that, thank you for the opportunity once again. I was knocked off earlier on you know, yeah. You see, Nigeria is gone. The only unifying factor that can hold the country is the armed forces of Nigeria. When the armed forces of that particular country has been compromised, that country is gone. You do not have, your intelligence are not intact to fight. You cannot move freely, just like if you were moving before. You cannot carry tasks assigned to you simply because there are elements of these terrorists within the decision-making bodies of the land, and their foot soldiers, what you commonly call the repentant terrorists, in them. I don't know whether you heard, some of my colleagues were protesting that they don't want to work with them a few weeks or months ago. How can you work with someone that has the ideology of dealing with you, that has been fighting you for quite some time? Now you call the person a repentant terrorist, drafted that same person into the force that has been fighting them before. It doesn't hold water to me. You see, it's just a matter of time. Like Olawumi said, it's a matter of time. And it's like they want to carry it out in Nigeria as quickly, as fast as they can. Let me tell you why they did this and how they have succeeded in doing it before Trump came in. There is what we call the first line of defense. When we were growing up, our families used to have double barrel, den guns, and so on and so forth. That is your first line of defense. You can use it to hunt games. You can use it to protect your family against external aggression that is coming into your family. What did the Nigerian government do? They withdrew all those first line of defense. Yes, it is not able to face the capacity of the weapons that these people are using. They are using anti-aircraft guns. They are using RPG. They are using AK-47 rifles that have a killing range of 300 meters and a travel distance kilometer of about 1.5 kilometers. That is 1,500 meters. That is what they are using. And you dare not use pump action guns to face such people. Pump action guns distance is not more than 100 meters. Is that what you are going to use to face someone that has a killing range of 300 meters? It's suicidal. So what the government did was to withdraw all those little, weapons that you can use to protect yourself against these people, and allow these people the express, let me just say, allowance to use their own weapons, and that is what they are using today. See, the government cannot control them because they are in there. They are in the decision making. Let me take you far away, Lebanon. I was in a platform with a Lebanese woman of about 78, 79 years. The woman told me, he said, do you know how Islam took over Lebanon today? By acceptance of Islamic refugees. Acceptance of Islamic refugees. They came in, they took over. The same thing that is happening in the United Kingdom now. They are now of a substantial population in the UK. Today, they are shouting Sharia Mukesu in the UK. That is Sharia. We want Sharia. We want Sharia. We want Sharia. Just like the way they were shouting January 2000 in Kaduna, Sharia Mukesu, Sharia Mukesu, Sharia Mukesu. You see, where they have minute number of them, they won't do anything. They would deploy what they call takia. They sit. But once they have a substantial number of them, they will begin to demand the tenets of Islam. And one of them is that Sharia. That is it. So from my own viewpoint, Nigeria cannot survive it unless America comes in today, tomorrow. But left for the people of Nigeria, you cannot. Southeast cannot contend them because you have been disarmed and they have been armed. You see, you can't, anytime they come to attack, the army will look the other way. The army will go the other way. So, and anytime they want to do whatever they want to do, then the army will look the other way, whereas they now perpetuate their evil and enter into these places. Do you know how many terrorist cells that are there in the southeast of Nigeria? Do you know how many of them that have been scattered in south-south, in southwest? Or your state is gone. So many places have been taken over, waiting for them now to blow their alarm. They are waiting for them to go in. How are you going to tackle a man that is already in your compound, waiting for instruction to go on? How? I wonder what Nigerians would do. I wonder what my people would do. I wonder what the South will do, South people. I wonder how prepared they are to face this.
All right, sir.
That is
I want to ask you another question, sir.